Excellent. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Can everybody hear me? Great. There we go. And we are off and running. Welcome. 10 o'clock Thursday morning, the 29th of September. This is fantastic. Welcome to this week's webinar. This is step number 3 of the first phase of sales intelligence on our topic of presentation secrets. This is part of one of my presentation secrets for high conversion rates, facilitating a terrific walk around presentation. Part 2 and 3 will address the demonstration and the delivery process, and we'll get into that at a later date. Your product presentation walk around must not appear like an encyclopedia data dump of features. I'm sure you know that. Shoppers have been through that in their research journey, gathering all that intel and research and features and information and journalist impressions and even the pseudo bloggers that appear to be or think that they're experts. Instead, you want to identify the hot buttons that the shopper's really excited about and then focus on those features. The secret to my product presentation is it is a sequel to your interview. You want to select the right vehicle and then present those hot buttons. This will almost always guarantee you success. The focus, therefore, is not on the customer, and that's why my conversion is so much better than average ordinary sales teams. Now, as you and I will agree, shoppers are well-versed when it comes to product, features, options, but not necessarily well-versed on combinations of such functionality and availability. Just before we start, allow me an opportunity to share with you who I am. I'm Bill Harvey, curator of the secrets here and developer of the selling system. And I hope you're in a quiet place and only focused on me. Now, you want to be sure to be taking notes because I'm going to go fast. And of course, this is going to be chock full of tactics that you can leverage right away. And yeah, that is me there in front of 10.9% interest. Imagine selling then. Nothing is new, gang. Everything has a life cycle. And as interest rates start to climb again, we have been there before. I think the highest interest rate at that time, I can remember financing cars at 48 months for 17%. That was a subvented rate of 10.9. Now, as I ascended the ranks of management and achieved my goal of becoming a dealer principal, I know landing shoppers on the right vehicle right from the very beginning will sell an automobile in minutes, as opposed to everyone else working all shift with another shopper. There's an easy way to sell anyone, anytime, and it's my perfect system, perfectly crafted just for you. All you have to do is follow the steps, do the activities, and your success drives my success. So let's do this. Now, just before we get going, allow me an opportunity to familiarize everyone with the platform and set the room. If you're a Zoomer or expert, please bear with me. If you're new to Zoom, it's easy. If you see my lips moving, and you're reading the subtitles down there at the bottom of the screen, yes, there is sound. You want to click yes, join with computer audio, assuming that you're reading the subtitles. If you cannot hear me, look for the microphone icon. It'll be beside your speaker icon in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If there is a red line or a strike through your speaker icon, then your speakers are muted like your microphone is. Simply click yes, join with computer audio, or click on the speaker icon, and it should unmute it. It should increase the volume. I was going to say unmute the speakers, but I don't think you can do that. Now, to be less disruptive to those around you, think about connecting with earphones or earbuds. This definitely suggests that you are not available while staring at your computer screen. And of course, if the app did not go to full screen, you can do so by clicking on the upper right-hand corner to enlarge. You may want to put up a sign on your desk like, hey, I'm in a meeting, or on your office door. But as always, we need to be ready for those friendly buyer interruptions. Position your pointer at the bottom of the screen and the toolbar will pop up. This is where you can click on the chat button and send me a message. Kindly message everybody in the group. I was just looking at my second screen there. If you have a question and you know if you see a question, you know the answer to that question, feel free to go ahead and answer the question. And in any class setting, simple rules apply here of being respectful, courteous, and polite. If you see a question, you know the answer, feel free to contribute in the chat window. Now, if I ask you to give me a thumbs up or a smiley face, you can do so here in reaction. So give me a thumbs up or a smiley face that you're listening, following along. That way I know everybody's awake and in it. Thank you for that thumbs up. Well done. Another one there and another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, they're coming in fast. Smiley face. Great. Oh, a celebration cone. Fantastic. I think it's a cone. I guess that's what they call it. A laughing face. Great. Those reactions you can use throughout the entire program because you get out of this session what you put into it. If you want to passively sit there and observe, that's fine, but you can't possibly expect to get the same results as someone else who is engaged really will. So we are in, as mentioned when I opened this morning, the first phase that's down here on the left-hand side of the diagram. And this is presentation secrets. This is skill number 3. You know, customers do a lot of research before buying, and what they're looking for is you, a salesperson that they can believe and trust. Now, I'm sure you'll agree, regardless of the make or model that you sell, your buyer's decision is likely the second greatest financial decision in their life right now. I used to say second greatest financial decision in their life, period, but it may not be. But I can assure you, I think we'll all agree that this is the second greatest financial decision in their life right now if they're buying a house. If they're not buying a house, this is the greatest, probably the greatest financial decision. Even if they work in a corporation as a purchasing agent and spending millions of dollars, this is them personally. Fortunately for us, those of us in this program, compared to average ordinary salespeople either don't know or worse, don't care, and consequently frustrate and aggravate shoppers with underwhelming presentations, or worse, overwhelming them, puking data all over the place, talking about features and never mentioning benefits and never talking about functionality. And those are some of the secrets that I'm going to share with you in the product presentation. So here's a little secret for you. It's not about us. The shopping experience is about them, the customer. You want to focus on their wants and needs, and you'll sell or convert, therefore, in record time. Now, as mentioned in previous sessions, where we need to see the customer getting what they want so we can see ourselves getting what we want. What can you say or do? Text me in your response right now. What can you say or do that will help the customer see themselves owning, driving their vehicle? What can you say? What would you say? Text me in your response. Open the text chat from the toolbar. Toolbar should pop up from the bottom or from the top, could even come in from the side. Click on the text chat, or click on the chat, pardon me, the chat function, and text me in what you could say to help the customer see themselves driving, owning the vehicle. Excellent. Yeah, 100%. Let's go on a drive. Well done. What else could you say? Yeah, could you see yourself washing the car? Yeah, exactly. Just like we have on the slide. Good for you. That was a hint, right? What else? Could you see yourself towing with this vehicle? Yeah. Describe to me a day's driving. Yes. Excellent. What's another thing that we could say where we get themselves envisioning themselves going to see family, friends, going on a holiday, going on a vacation? Yes. Dynamite. Taking kids to school. 100%. Going to work. Yes. That's the most obvious one. Yes. Connect it with their life. Wouldn't it be great loading hockey bags inside this vehicle? Yeah, if they're coming out of a car, going to a van or sport utility, and even better. I think a lot of people are thinking about loading hockey equipment in a pickup truck right now, right? It's probably that hockey equipment's rather fresh smelling right now, but as we get into the season next month and into playoffs, I'll bet it gets pretty ripe. I know I used to play hockey. now ride dirt bikes. We wear the same equipment the hockey players wearing. Woo-wee, at the end of the season, it starts to get a little right. I hope you get the message there that you want to create that image where they see themselves owning it. Now, I didn't read anything about naming 1,000 features, why they should buy it. I'm so glad nobody sent in just a data dump of features, because any high ticket item like automobiles carries the expectation of a presentation. Even average ordinary salespeople know this. And what limits their ability is that lack of interest in what customers want in a presentation. So secret number 2 is identifying the hot buttons that customers have. You need to identify the hot buttons that customers have that will get them excited, because you can get excited about that, and your enthusiasm is simply contagious. They'll just want to buy, right? Now, as I've stated with you in the past, my commitment strategy includes these tactics of overview, benefit, and permission. This tells you without a doubt you're aligned with your shopper. Facilitating these 3 tactics will enable you to clearly see the shopper getting what they want, and in turn, you getting what you want, sticker on the board and a nice fat commission. This is the secret. This secret number 3 is what high achievers call landing the customer. When you arrive at the vehicle of their choice, pause. Allow the shopper to take it all in. Clues like cupping hands on the window, looking for several different options all around the vehicle, smiling, reviewing the price without walking away are all indicators you've landed them on the right vehicle. You can see that. If you don't see that they're doing that, in fact, when you get a spouse involved and you don't see the spouse is engaged, you got to start thinking to yourself, are they going to want to think about this? Are they going to want to step away and talk together? Are they going to want to go home and sleep on it? And of course, that spouse is not engaged, may be covertly hostile, may be the one saying, we can't afford it, we don't want it, we don't need this, it's too big, it's too small, it's wrong color, whatever the case is. It doesn't matter what is happening there. Even a representative model for your presentation purpose is a whole lot better, where you can bring that spouse into the equation, and that representative model can be higher or lower trim level, because something is better than nothing. At the very least, a well-orchestrated virtual presentation is an absolute must. And I'll show you how to do so in the next step, prospect pipeline harvesting, and as well in step number 9, leveraging apps and technology. So step 3 involves 4 modules. That's the step that we're in right now of the 9-step process. Number 1, you need to prepare yourself. What to know before presenting the vehicle. Those are the do's and the don'ts. Number 2, module 2, we're going to facilitate the product presentation, and you'll learn to make it exciting and engaging. In module 3, which we're not going to talk about today, is the demonstration drive. As we've seen in previous sessions, significantly improves your chances of closing the deal. And that's because the customer just simply falls in love with it after driving. And in module 4, and we're not going to talk about this today, is the delivery experience. This is your annuity. An annuity is your income in perpetuity. It's carrying on. It becomes predictable and consistent. The reason I say the delivery experience is your annuity is this ensures that they're confident, the customer's confident and competent operating their new vehicle. And that's your annuity, because it gets you referrals and repeat purchases. Now, we only have enough time, as mentioned, for module 1 and module 2. So great presentations are all about engaging the audience. Keep in mind where we are transitioning from the interview step to the selective presentation. You want to facilitate that OBP strategy, overview, benefit, permission, because it confirms the product that you're going to present. But the reality is you may not have the exact vehicle. A representative model will suffice, and failing that, at least a virtual presentation. Something like a PowerPoint. And again, I'll help you build one in apps and technology. Now, if you have any doubt, pause. If you have any doubt at all, when you're walking up to the car, you selected the vehicle, you're going to do a virtual presentation. If you have any doubt that you're on the right vehicle, pause and look at your shopper. for an unusually long period of time. This may feel awkward for both of you. Did that feel awkward when you were sitting there? If you looked away for a moment and you were a little distracted, you're probably looking back at the screen like, what's happening? What did I miss? What did he ask me to do? I didn't ask you to do anything. Don't worry about it all. I'm just role playing with you. Pause for that unusually long period of time so that it is a little bit awkward. And right up to the point where the customer says, why are you looking at me like that? And at that point, you can say this. You can say, you know what? I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it with all the makes and models, with all the offerings that are out there. How did you pick this product? You could add, how did you pick this dealership? They didn't pick you yet. They're going through that evaluation process as they're talking with you. But if you don't think you're on the right product, pause, stop. This is the product selection. And it's the transition between the interview, finding out why they're here and getting their contact information, to the car you're going to show, or the truck or the SUV you're going to show. You must be able to see them. I want to really drive that home. You want to envision, as much as you can vividly do so, see them driving away in your product, or you're wasting your time. That's why average, ordinary salespeople flounder and quit. They go through the steps without any commitment, and then they're frustrated afterwards and they want to learn how to close and negotiate. That is ridiculous, and you wind up with crummy deals. Now, these talk tracks, and as I talk, you read the slide, and I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up at the end after you've read them all, okay? Or I'll go through them with you with all the makes and models available. How did you choose this one? Or is there something you really don't like about your current vehicle? I love that one. When doing your research, here's another one. Was there a particular feature that sounded interesting, but you're not really sure how it works? I've got to think cross traffic alert would be one that a mom with a newborn baby would just love to know about, because that's a vehicle's approaching from behind. And here's the last one. Is there anything special the vehicle has to do for you, such as load carrying, cargo space, towing, or hauling? These are really not a secret, these talk tracks. But since average, ordinary salespeople don't ask, you could consider these your secret to success. You want to ask your customers, with all the makes and models available, what really makes this one your choice? Now, as we've learned earlier, we need to, after delivering that, shut up and listen. The Lord gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth, twice as much listening as talking. If they're driving a car or an SUV and going to a pickup truck, obviously there's something really different in their life, right? Maybe they've purchased a travel trailer, a boat, an ATV, or a utility trailer. Maybe they just got a neighbor, a friend, a relative who bought a pickup truck, and they said, yeah, I'd never look at a pickup truck, but wow, are these things ever nice? They're so luxurious. They ride so great, and they're so big. It's kind of cool to drive one. Pickups are about load carrying and hauling. So you're probably going to find out why they want to go to a truck. Share with them your customers' experiences of moving to a pickup truck. I'm sure a lot of spouses, especially small, petite spouses, are saying, a pickup truck, especially in a metropolitan center, really? We're going to drive a truck? Oh my gosh, are you going to buy a cowboy hat and cowboy boots now? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love wearing my boots and hat, but I could see my best friend who lives in Oakville, downtown Oakville, saying that. I could see his spouse especially saying that to me. You want to share with your customer other customers' experiences. It's so much easier to carry hockey equipment. It's so much easier to carry a golf bag and clubs. It's so much easier to carry bicycles. Certainly, trailer tow assist makes backing up much easier, especially for rookies. So if they have just purchased a trailer, that's going to be amazing. During the interview, you ask them what they don't like about their current vehicle. And you could get, it's too small, it's noisy, it's a gas guzzler, it's out of warranty. So secret number 4 is those are the triggers on the hot buttons of why they want to buy your product. So the product presentation is just not about pointing features out. Here's secret number 5. The strategy of naming features and selling benefits, explaining functionality, is a strategy. Did you hear the tactics? The tactic is name the feature. The next tactic is sell the benefit. And the third tactic is the functionality of that feature. That's why I call it a strategy, because, pardon me, there's 3 tactics perfectly aligned that forms that strategy. Average ordinary salespeople don't do this. That's why I say, don't puke data. Don't do an encyclopedia data dump. That's what average ordinary salespeople are doing. These are the presentation secrets of high achievers, because people buy from people that they like. They like you because you are like them. They want you to sell them. Now, the walk around is your competitive edge. Your shopper has reams and volumes of information on your product, and they can buy it anywhere. Keep that in mind. They can buy it anywhere. Doesn't matter if it's new or used. Used, it's a little bit more selective. It gets narrowed down by color and mileage and condition. But really, if they shop around, they can buy another one anywhere. Here's your competitive advantage. They can't buy you. They can't buy from you, pardon me, just anywhere. It is you that makes a difference. And we know this because many shoppers buy from one dealership and service at another. Why? They buy from people they trust. Quick little story on this to illustrate. A friend of mine, a student, went shopping with his wife for her next new automobile. And the salesperson that he met was not a student, was not a graduate of any one of my programs, didn't search their inventory. Trying to recall from memory what was on the lot. Now, this is pre-pandemic, as you can imagine, so there was lots of product on the lot. My pal said, would you turn your computer on and I'll show you what we want and you can tell me if you have it. Now, he would say the very same thing in today's marketplace too, right? Because he'd say, look, build and price, this is what I want, and can you order it, and how long will it take to get it? So the statement is relevant. The salesman, get a load of this, the salesperson refused to turn his computer on and tell my buddy what he actually had on the lot, let alone what he could get. Can you believe that? It really happened. That guy, my friend, called me to tell me, he said, look, you've got to integrate this into your program. I just can't believe it actually happened. He was super frustrated. No one has patience for ignorance like that. Follow the process and you'll sell each one every single time. Now, skip the presentation and your customer will default to negotiation every time. Did you get that? Skip the presentation and your customer will default to negotiation every single time. And you must be asking yourself, why? Why, Bill? Why on earth would that be the case? Let me share this with you. There's no bridge. I've shared with you the metaphor of the bridge before, and I'm going to keep driving home that bridge. The bridge is where they are now, the old car, and you're forming this bridge to the new car, the pathway to the new car, whatever the new vehicle, be it new or used, is going to do for them. I've taught you the value bridge demonstrates what their old vehicle is not doing and why the new one is the solution. This is secret number 6, and it's why they buy. When they see what the new vehicle has and their old one does not, your deal is done. That's it. That's selling value. That's building value. That's all that value proposition training that went on. The problem with average ordinary teachers is they link an unknown with another unknown. And they go, you know what, how do you sell them is you do a bridge and then they'll buy. Well, there's an unknown. I don't know why they're not buying. And this bridge thing, I don't get that. The bridge is just the pathway. And it's just a metaphor. Pick your own thing. Call it a tunnel. Call it a vessel. Call it a walkway. Whatever you want to do. When you see your buyer getting what they want, you will see yourself getting what you want. Building value is helping them make the second most financial decision in their life right now. When you don't, the customer is confused, and the confused mind always says no. When you don't build that value bridge, the customer is confused, and the confused mind always says no. They get confused and they're unsure of purchasing right now because the price alone cannot and will not sell the product. They don't see the value in the product for the price that you're asking. If you're frustrated selling automobiles, it's because you're not facilitating the presentation a shopper wants. Ask any door-to-door salesperson. As their old adage goes, if you can't get inside their house, in other words, you're not going to sell them. Now, rest assured, every customer has done research. Everybody. In case in point, let me share with you a quick little story on that. My father-in-law, super guy, originally from Austria, cabinet maker by trade, and English as his second language. As you can imagine, born during World War II, he is not technology interested or savvy. So when he decided to buy a new car, he asked my daughter to show him online features, colors, and pricing. That cemented my belief immediately that 100% of customers go on the internet prior to making the decision before driving or calling into your dealership. And if you don't agree with me on that, Google has lots of proof how many do. So secret number 7 is to identify the hot buttons. And you select these hot buttons as features for your presentation. These hot buttons are categorized by my SPACE acronym representing safety, performance, appearance, comfort, or economy. Let me read that to you again. My SPACE acronym represents safety, performance, appearance, comfort, or economy. These are the hot buttons, the triggers that help customers make the decision. It condenses and simplifies, this acronym condenses and simplifies your presentation with structure in an informative and entertainment way. I'll show you. Those are the 3 presentations of which I'll teach you the secrets that bring buyers back and refer their family and friends. But you must have completed the interview successfully, qualifying the customer, and you know that they're ready to move forward with a product presentation. So you always want to keep the OBP strategy of overview, benefit, and permission, bridging each one of the steps. Now, walking and talking on the lot, you can get yourself mentally ready as you approach the vehicle that you want to do your preparation, as you're approaching the vehicle that you've done your training and preparation on, that'll help you see the features, reminding you of what to present. In other words, the vehicle really talks to you as you're approaching it, reminding yourself what you want to talk about. So start your presentation off by jeweling the vehicle, meaning pull it out of the lineup and park it in front of non-competing models. Cars, park it in front of trucks and SUVs. With SUVs, pull it out and park it in the car lineup if you still have cars in your lineup. As you approach the vehicle, you can think about what to present: bumpers, engine, wheels, safety cell construction. You can categorize these features by the SPACE acronym saved in the notes application of your smartphone. You can follow the OBP strategy of overview and say, what I'd like to do is show you the vehicle. The benefit of this, it'll ensure that you are getting all the features that you want and need. And the permission is, I may make reference to my phone from time to time to ensure that I don't miss a feature that you're particularly interested in. Does this sound okay? The first time this happened to me, it was at an electronics store, and I thought this guy really didn't know his stuff. I thought he was a true rookie. Then he said he uses his phone like a memo pad. His presentation, consequently, was excellent. The overview, benefit, and permission would have been really helpful for him to share with me, and I wouldn't have had that subconscious negative prejudice, but he earned my respect, and I did buy from him. It was a great idea. So keep that OBP strategy top of mind. Now, during your interview, step 2 of the 8-step sales process, 8 steps to success rather, while actively listening and making notes about what they don't like about their current vehicle, you know now the hot buttons. Look for patterns of features like park assist, lane departure warning, backup camera, forward park camera, and slow speed stopping, because all of those fall into the safety bucket. The hot buttons are, again, safety, performance, appearance, comfort, and economy. If you're not sure if the customer has any hot buttons, you could simply ask them. And you could say something like this: some of my clients are most interested in safety features, while others want to know all about the performance features of a vehicle. Some really like the appearance of the vehicle, and others are very interested in comfort, only interested in comfort. While some, being those there where there's a lot of month left over at the end of the money, are most interested in economy. So let me ask you this, folks, what's important to you? If you don't really know how that SPACE acronym fits into your shopper's process, you can point blank ask them right out of the gate. So let's go through the hot button strategy, because I really want you to get that, and hopefully this will really help you. If you mess this up, however, you'll be talking to yourself for the next hour or so. If you skip this step or mess it up, you'll be talking to yourself for the next hour. When the customer says, I need to think about it, you'll probably never see them again. Okay, so safety is rather obvious, such as driving dynamics like ABS, traction control, stability control, cross traffic alerts, slow speed stopping, lane departure warning, airbags, seatbelt pretensioners, any energy absorbing dash surfaces, crumple zones, and safety cell construction. That's an easy one. I think we can all do a really dynamite safety presentation and determine what is important. And of course, if you see anybody carrying an infant, child, or walking in with young children, especially if any of those young children are adolescent or teenager and they've got a broken arm or a broken leg, you can count on, pardon me, you can count on the fact that for those parents, safety is going to be top of mind for them and easy to do your presentation. Performance on the other side of the equation is, again, relatively easy. This is all about horsepower, torque values, aluminum wheels and handling, and of course, side sill skirts and large wheels and tires, low profile tires. On trucks and on SUVs, we're talking about load and towing capacity and turbocharged engines, multi-speed transmissions, and of course, with any vehicle, a performance presentation is enjoyable, but it's not the primary focus. With a lot of high performance car buyers, interestingly enough, it's not so much the performance of the car. They know that intimately through their research. It may be all those other features of safety or comfort or economy. Now, appearance is all about the rake of the windshield, the height of the lift gate, the low coefficient of drag for better fuel economy, the waistline, how people sitting in the back seats will be able to see it, especially young children. And that lends itself well to theater style seating. Styling contours, the grille, the hood design, the spoilers, deflectors, diffusers, side sill skirts, and styling crimps, and the hood and the doors, the roof and the trunk. All of these things form the appearance of the vehicle. And as much as you see it and go, yeah, you know, the hood deflector on a pickup truck of a diesel powered truck is great. The great big chrome grille looks amazing. And the styling crimps on a performance car are cool. Customers sometimes don't see it. How often do you talk about the high luster paint protection process? The silhouette of the roof, side, and rear of the vehicle creates distinctive styling and attractiveness that says this is their car, which is their brand and their manufacturer. Now, comfort includes suspensions, wheels, and tires. We're talking about heated seats, heated steering wheel, air-conditioned seats, massage seats, lumbar support, theater seating, ergonomics of radio and HVAC, cup holders, and storage compartments. All of those things fall under the bucket of comfort. Trying to get to the next slide. Sorry about that. And finally, economy. Economy is fuel ratings. So this is where long-term service intervals of long life coolant, filled for life transmission fluid, engine oil life monitors, connectivity, compatibility with smartphone devices, aluminum and polymer body panels and bumpers. These are just thought starters for you. And in moments, we'll get right into how to incorporate this in a specific vehicle presentation. So don't think that I'm giving you a data dump. I'm just going through those 5 buckets of safety, performance, appearance, comfort, and economy. This is an excellent exercise for you to take all the features that you have about your cars and create a presentation for yourself. Now, in step 1 of the Dynamic Buyer Odyssey, you also learn that no 2 buyers are the same. And these are the profiles that I know that you will encounter. Keep in mind, These are the combinations, and this is why your observation skills have to be just as effective as your presentation skills. You know, achievers are always rushing around, looking busy, hustling and bustling about. They don't give you much of an opportunity to present or demonstrate, but you must get at least 3 to 6 items in, because if you don't, they'll default to negotiation every time because they don't see any value. They haven't crossed the bridge from the old to the new. Talkers do just that. They talk your ears off. They'll tell you about every car they've ever bought, favorites and not so favorites. So beware of long demonstration drives and storytelling. These shoppers change their mind quickly and easily with frustrating frequency. So you need to keep them focused on the vehicle by removing it from the lineup and facilitating a presentation, even in the service department or the pre-owned lot, or even the back as is row of old, tired, worn out cars. Now, in this particular market, I'm sure it's no problem at all for you to be able to jewel that vehicle, get it away from the rest of the product lineup. There's probably lots of room on your lot to do so. But as we move forward and inventory starts to become more plentiful, and we're seeing it now, you want to be thinking about this. Keep it top of mind. Now, listeners do just that. They sit and listen. They're so good at being observant. Average, ordinary salespeople mistake their politeness for being interested. Did you hear that? They mistake their politeness for being interested. Listeners listen twice as much as they talk. So you need to get them to open up. And this is most relevant with spouses. If you don't get the two of them engaged, touching things and talking about the car openly in front of you, then one of them is likely in covert hostility. You'll see the telltale signs. The arms are crossed. They're not looking at you. They're not paying attention to the presentation. They're looking away. Maybe they're looking at their watch. Maybe they're looking at their smartphone. Oh my gosh, what time is it? Be aware of this. Watch for those listeners. And finally, the enthusiasts. They want all the details. They want a full 40 to 60 minute presentation. They want you to give them 10 points with a feature and a benefit and the functionality of each throughout each of the 6 positions of the walk around of your automobile. Are you getting this? Do you see why there are so many average, ordinary salespeople with so few high achievers? So secret number 8 is how to handle each buyer profile. With achievers, you want to be short to the point. You want to show top of the line. With talkers, lots of dialogue, many choices, and the perfect vehicle in inventory. Let me show you now. You tell talkers who are talking a lot, we have many choices and I have the perfect vehicle. Let me show you now. Listeners, before you make a decision, you need to drive it. Enthusiasts, allow me an opportunity to answer all of your questions, whether I know them or not, before you make a decision. Because no two customers are alike. This is the first step to seeing the shopper getting what they want so that you see yourself getting what you want. Sticker on the board, big commission. They'll immediately feel comfortable and buy with you. So when planning your presentation, it's not as simply enough to want to tell the customer all the newest, latest, and greatest features. Those days ended when the OEM created robust, information-packed websites of build and price functionality. In fact, there was a time that our OEs thought that the website was so capable, a customer could take a virtual demonstration drive. Well, you can imagine that didn't work. You make features pop with an explanation like heated seats will keep your hands, fingers, and even your whole body warm without gloves on, fall, winter, and springtime of the year. Doesn't matter if you live in Florida or the Yukon, at any temperature below 7 degrees, that's cold enough to turn the heated steering wheel on and the low setting of the heated seat. Did you hear the feature presentation of what it is with the benefit of how it works and the story in a setting that suits any location? A drop of 10 degrees when you're accustomed to 20 degrees feels cold in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And I'll bet you're going to tell me not every shopper wants a walk around, right? And you'd be right if that is because you'll get them so excited to buy. So as you may recall from the previous VCOs, Virtual Class Online, or the learning management step of the walk around is 6 positions. Your walk around, naming features and selling benefits, showing and demonstrating functionality is the secret. I personally start at the front of the vehicle, and with each step reviewing the overview, benefit, and permission, and by saying something like, overview, what I'd like to do is show you a few features so that you may have not seen online. And the benefit for you is this will help you see how the vehicle fits your lifestyle. And the permission is, I may refer to my phone's notes to ensure I don't miss something and answer any of your questions with accuracy. Is this okay? I have a super close secret coming at position number 4 of the walk around, so stay tuned for that, and I'll point it out to you. So let's get right into it. This is the walk around. Position number 1, starting with the silhouette's distinctive look, smooth lines, reducing wind noise for a quieter drive and better fuel economy. Point number 2, at the front of the car. There are 2 bumpers on most passenger and light duty vehicles. The hidden 8 km/h energy absorbing bumper on trucks at a 4 km/h energy absorbing bumper is designed to protect the crumple zones of any vehicle from being energized, such as if you accidentally bump into another parked car, a lamppost, or the wall at the front of your parking spot. This low speed bumper will protect the car, truck, or SUV, but is not intended to eliminate damage. It just protects the crumple zones. The steel reinforced bumper protects occupants and yourself in the event of a higher speed collision. Electric, point number 3, electric and some gas models have automatic adjusting aero shutters to force wind up and over the vehicle, achieving better range and maximizing fuel economy. The headlamp module, point number 4, with high and low beam headlights, turn signals, and daytime running lights made of Lexan, a composite material that thick enough is bulletproof. Now, these headlamp modules are not bulletproof, but they will absorb a stone bouncing on the roadway and not break the cover. The reflective surface in behind is jeweled to enhance light placement on the roadway. Point number 5, once reserved for performance cars, fog lights are a safety feature for all vehicles. Contrary to popular belief, fog lights do not actually help the driver see better on the roadway. Fog lights are intended to help walkers, runners, cyclists, motorcycles, and other motorists on the roadway coming at you see you better. Now, the air dam is not a feature, but with the price of gasoline, your customers definitely want to know about it. The air dam prevents wind from going under the vehicle by damming it up front and forcing up over the cabin to achieve better fuel economy and improved handling. The styling crimps on the hood of the vehicle serve a better purpose than simply appearance alone. The styling crimps stiffen the flat surface or sheet of metal that the hood is and prevents deflection, causing poor fuel economy and bad handling characteristics. This feature is an economy, an appearance, and a performance feature, falling under those hot buttons, right? Point number 8, aero wipers. These wind deflectors force the wiper onto the windshield as your speed increases, thereby ensuring a clear, unobstructed view for the driver. And then rainwater management, point number 9, ensures rain and water on the windshield, including snow and ice, is directed up and over the roof line and not allowing it to wrap around the side of the cabin, obscuring the side rear view mirrors for the driver. And then finally, high luster waterborne paint process is environmentally friendly with several coats of metal protection, maintaining shine and luster 40% better than lacquer. keeping the paint looking fresh and wet. And now at the end of this position of the front of the presentation of the car, you want to ask them, do you like it, before moving on? Because if they don't like it, you're talking to yourself for an hour for the next, you're talking to yourself for the next hour of your presentation. Now let's go on to the second position, where we open the hood and we're talking about engine features. You want to familiarize yourself with how the primary and the secondary catch releases the hood. The primary catch being the one inside the vehicle. The secondary catch is the safety, where you have to lift that one in order to open the hood. You know the horsepower and torque values. As torque gets you moving, horsepower keeps you moving. Torque is for stop and go traffic, or in other words, city driving, and load carrying or towing. And horsepower is for highway driving and going fast. Trucks will have a lower horsepower rating, but a high torque value rating. This is especially prevalent with diesel engines. Performance cars are light and only need enough torque to launch them, and then of course have lots of horsepower to push them through the wind as they accelerate. Now, the clear reservoirs make checking engine fluids easy at a glance when checking oil level or topping up the windshield washer fluid. Point number three, pardon me, crumple zones. I get my screen out of the way there. Crumple zones are pre-programmed deflection points to slow the impact of a frontal collision. The hood reinforcement skeleton has pinch points at certain points to facilitate the hood to deform instantly, preventing it from being driven back in through the windshield. This is a dynamite safety hot button. The non-intrusive deck lid hinge is absolutely fantastic as well. This was an invention by a Cadillac designer, and he actually affectionately named it after Jane Mansfield, the famous actress, and he coined it the Mansfield hinge. Some journalists still refer to it as that. Jane Mansfield was an actress, unfortunately succumbed to fatal injuries when her Cadillac crashed and the hood was forced back in through the windshield. This new safety hinge locks the hood in place, preventing that from happening. And of course, the crumple zones allow the hood to blow up in the center and prevent that further from happening. Point number 5, any owner would change their vehicle for the peace of mind of a warranty and roadside assistance. Warranty covers the entire car for 1 year and 3 or 4 years with limited coverage and mileage considering. Check your owner's manual for the warranty coverage that you have and how much is left, and be intimately familiar with what is covered. The roadside assistance generally follows the duration of the warranty. Now, multi-speed, being 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12-speed transmissions accommodate small displacement engines with better fuel economy. This is a concern primarily for older buyers, those baby boomers and Gen Xers who are concerned that that little tiny engine in their compact SUV is not going to be suitable. With multi-speed transmissions, it makes it easier for that engine to rev up and, of course, deliver the power that they're looking for on the roadway while maintaining great fuel economy and creating less oxides and pollutants in the environment. Constant velocity transmissions are the absolute best transmission in the world, but as some of us know, are much noisier. This is the belt drive transmission. They're incredibly smooth with infinite gear combinations, but some consumers feel like the transmission is slipping and get concerned and aren't as happy as a multi-speed transmission. The CVT has dramatically fewer internal parts and requires considerably less maintenance. But if your customer doesn't want it, you can talk to your blue in the face. They just won't see the value in it. Now, the driving dynamics are the anti-lock brakes, traction control, stability control, slow speed stopping, pedestrian alert, cross traffic alert, and smart cruise control or autonomous driving. Driving dynamics are changing the way we motor. Fully autonomous will not likely make it into the hands of the public anytime very, very soon until we actually see geofencing in metro centers. But with smart cruise control, and as we've seen Tesla's autopilot system. It is becoming more and more prevalent and will be probably the first step towards autonomous driving. Now, point out components that isolate noise, vibration, and harshness, NVH. Point out components that isolate noise, vibration, and harshness, because this is the easiest way for you to bridge what their old car isn't doing to the new vehicle. Their old car probably squeaks, rattles, creaks, groans, shudders, shakes, thunks, clunks, and bumps. When you talk about engine mounts, breakaway engine mounts for safety, elastometer engine mounts for quiet ride and drive, fluid-filled engine mounts on some luxury cars to make the driving experience that much quieter and enjoyable. You really drive home the bridge of what their old car isn't doing to the new vehicle. And of course, extended maintenance intervals. You want to bridge again what their new vehicle's not doing and think about the transformation as opposed to simply naming features. If their old car is starting to cost money on maintenance, or consequently in the shop, in the service department, to keep it running, mention the extended service schedule that you may have and the coverage. Say, and before moving on to the next position change, stop with, hey, is there any questions at this point of the car before we move on? So now we move around to the passenger side of the automobile, and we start with the remote control mirrors that are swing away, power folding, and heated. This facilitates easier parking in tight spaces and obviously a safety feature when heated to be clear in those winter driving conditions. Point number 2, those 16, 17, 18, 19, or 20-inch aluminum wheels are stylish and help with performance of the vehicle. Larger wheels and tires actually create drag as they spin. And the faster they get turning and spinning, the heavier they actually make the vehicle on the roadway, which exhausts fuel economy. And with electric vehicles is wildly concerning because it chews up battery power. Aluminum wheels are stiff and light, allowing fewer revolutions because they're bigger, with a smaller tire for quieter ride, and consequently, they look amazing. Now, sunscreen tinted glass helps the air conditioning system work more efficiently. This is especially appreciated and reduces road rage in summer months of congested traffic. Front and rear seatbelt pretensioners are a pyrotechnic device like an airbag that actually snugs the seatbelt up. I should get my picture out of the way there. Snugs the seatbelt up in the event of a frontal collision. This is one of many fantastic passive safety features in the automobile. Passenger side airbags with occupant detection protects the occupants, the passenger, from those fatal head injuries contacting the inside of the window in the event of a side impact collision. The weight detector on the passenger side seat, as the diagram shows us here, only arms the passenger side airbag in the event that there is enough weight on that seat to arm the airbag and the side impact airbag. Now, side impact guard beams are in the doors and prevent occupant injury at bumper level with other vehicles. This ensures the door remains intact, protecting occupants as best we possibly can. Now, there is a threshold to all of these protective elements, and they are not therefore intended to protect you and your loved ones at all times or all speeds. So never say this will protect you from highway speed collisions, or never say these features will totally protect you at any time, at any point, at any speed, anywhere on the roadway. That is not the case, and the engineers want us to be really, really clear on that. But for the majority of collisions that happen at city driving speed of 50 kilometers per hour or less, majority being 74% of accidents. These protective measures are absolutely fantastic. Now, side impact seat mounted and window curtain airbags protect passengers' torso and head in the event of a side impact. And as we're starting to see in some of the luxury brands, inside side impact protection, not just outboard seating side impact protection. Child security rear door locks limit rear seat occupants from exiting the automobile from inside when enabled. Now, we call them child security door locks. I have never seen a child hop out at a stoplight, but I have heard stories of parents suffering from dementia getting out of the vehicle before they were intended to be let out of the vehicle. So that is probably a reality of many of us as the population starts to age, and I don't think we'll start calling them anything other than limited access rear door locks, but you can call it child security door locks because that is the reference in the owner's manual. Splash guards. Splash guards are an appearance bucket button, right? They prevent sandblasting down the side of the car, especially the lower rockers, and they keep the side and the back of the automobile free and clear in inclement weather driving. And finally, passenger side safety fuel access door means that if you run out of fuel, passenger side safety fuel access door means that if you run out of fuel, you'll be filling the vehicle from the shoulder side of the road as opposed to the traffic side. This is not a there is not a feature too big or too small to mention and satiate with a hot button. Now, at the end of this step of the 8-step process, you again want to finish off with, do you have any questions? Right? That's the overview, benefit, permission strategy. So now at the back of the vehicle, similar to the front of the vehicle, with the wraparound bumper cover, this hides the energy absorbing steel reinforced bumper. That is the appearance presentation. Let me just get the screen out of the way. There we go. Now, spoilers and diffusers are there to keep the rear window clear, creating downforce for stability, channeling air out from underneath the vehicle, and create stability. But if anything else, they look amazing, don't they? That's an appearance button. Yeah, they've got amazing functionality and aerodynamics and all the rest of it, but they really, really look cool. Looks like a race car, doesn't it? The rear windshield washer wiper defroster combination, well, that just facilitates clearing the rear window of a sport utility or a hatchback or a wagon or any vehicle that is required to have a rear wiper on it. Park Assist is a fantastic feature that will tell you when you are a meter from an object that is 12 inches off the ground, and this surveys across the back of the vehicle, including 45 degrees off the corners of the vehicle. The rear backup camera is the single greatest safety feature passing over the passenger side airbag. A staggering number of deaths happened prior to so many automobiles not equipped with a backup camera. I know what you're thinking. Backup camera makes backing into a parking spot a whole lot easier, and it does. But the purpose of having the backup camera was the staggering number of deaths that happened because motorists could not see someone behind the vehicle. Now, the trailer tow, backup, and park assist with bird's eye view make hooking up a trailer, backing down onto a trailer, and seeing what is around, getting to that trailer, maneuvering in tight space is way easier. It's absolutely amazing. This is where we bundle together so many of the features that would normally stand alone into one terrific feature. And finally, the foot-operated power tailgate is a wonderful convenience hot button. When you cannot use the key fob or push the button, you simply swipe your foot under the power tailgate of your vehicle. Did you get that? Did you hear me say it? This is the secret I was talking about earlier, so stay tuned. You simply swipe your foot to open your tailgate. The secret is yours. I've spent so much time with you now at the front, under the hood, the passenger side. Now we're at the back of the vehicle. I can transfer the ownership of this vehicle or my vehicle or the OE's or the dealership's vehicle to You, the buyer, this is your vehicle. You simply swipe your foot under the bumper to open your tailgate. This is the secret I was referring to, and it converts like absolute mad. You're transferring ownership and helping them see themselves buy it. So I hope you found this really helpful. I know I'm over by a lot, and these sessions are starting to go a little bit longer. I'm doing two things. I'm slowing down, allowing you to take notes if you want to take notes. I hope you found this really interesting, and that does mean that we're out of time. The LMS, the online on-demand system, has that complete presentation that you just saw here, plus a ton more information there. So I would encourage you to go there and practice your walk around if you have it. If you're not subscribed to the new Auto Dealership Academy, and that is where this LMS is hosted, and you would like the full presentation, reach out to me for any at any one of these contact points. bharvey@dynamicsintel.com. My telephone number there, 705-350-0811. You can call me, you can message me, you can leave me a voicemail, and I will return that. If you want to get the most out of the time that we spend here together, go to the newly minted Facebook group, the Auto Dealership Academy, and join our private members Facebook group. Get involved, ask questions, start conversation, really get connected. Let's create a community of high achievers, a mastermind, so to speak. Now, I have as much time as any of you need for any comments, questions, concerns. I'd love to hear your wins. Does anybody have any wins? I should have opened the whole session with, what are the wins? What are you doing? What have I made a recommendation, a suggestion? What new wins? It may have nothing to do with any of the training that we've attended and done together. The floor is now open. Does anybody have a question to share? Does anybody have a win to share with us? Does anybody have a comment about the program? Anybody have a comment about the program? It was great. Thank you. It was super. Okay. Wonderful. Thanks for joining me. I know we're a little over time. You gotta run. I get it. Anybody have a question or a comment? Could be something about the program, can be something not about the program. Doesn't have to be specifically about this topic. Presentations. Like the timing? Great. I'm trying to slow myself down. It's for me, it's really tough. Doing my best. I don't want anyone to fall asleep. You got to make notes. Fantastic. Great. Really glad to hear that. Notes are not available for the presentation. My apology. I don't have my notes available only because that is found all in the Dealership Academy, where you can go through the LMS and start and stop at your own leisure. You can print the PDF as well, which is fantastic as a workbook and a quick reference. But the LMS is definitely the best way to start. And of course, you can fast forward through. If you've been through all modules, then you can fast forward and rewind. If you haven't been through all modules, then you do have to see them all. You can't skip ahead. You like the pace and able to make notes? Good. Didn't feel like we were so rushed. I was never rushed. I just felt like I didn't want to lose your attention. I know I only have it for a very short period of time. I want to deliver as much value as possible, but thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. Really appreciate it. I'll give everyone a few more moments. If I don't see any questions coming in, thank you for your comments. You can always text those to me. You can always post. Please be sure to go to the Facebook group, right? To the Auto Dealership Academy. Follow the posts there. I will be very active with a number of posts and try to get to the point of a live post per day. So bear with me. We're just coming up with the content for that and making sure that we've got all those details. And thanks, Jen. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Waiting for prices to drop and rates to go down, deals to come out. No problem. That's a great question, and that's coming up a lot now. We Okay, the behind the scenes answer to that you can't share with a customer is we won't see rates go down until we see inventory pressure on dealers and manufacturers. So until the lot is full again, this is what the manufacturer is telling the retailers. Until the Bank of Canada rate starts to ebb slightly, we probably won't see rates come down. The good news is rates are probably stabilizing. So yes, payments have gone up significantly. Unless somebody was shopping months ago, they're not going to know that. But they are going to be comparing their rates to the monthly payment that they currently have, which was probably a ridiculously low rate of 0% or something close to it. So it's going to be an adjustment period for a little bit. I would suggest, as always, 3 things control your monthly payment, and that's the focus. Don't worry about price. Don't worry about rate. Don't worry about the deal and the cashbacks and the rebates, because those have evaporated. What we want to focus on is the monthly payment. And as much as people say, well, what's the deal you're giving me? And how much are you going to knock off? Or what's the manufacturer going to do for year-end sellout or closeout? Well, first of all, there isn't a reason to, because we don't have excessive inventory on the ground. But going to the monthly payment, what is affordable? And determining that affordability is predicated by down payment, term, lease, or finance. So what everybody objects to is price. We know that all the time. I would go to a shorter term, which is going to create a gigantic price to give them something to object to. The risk we run is that the price is so unrealistic that somebody doesn't even react to it, and they say, okay, well, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I had no intention of buying today. You need to be really certain that you didn't create so much shock that they're running away. And they're like, that's insane. That's ridiculous. I'd never pay that. That's crazy. That's a tough read, but you can tell by the body language. Second part of the equation, if we start this conversation at the interview, not that rates have gone up, there's no deal, negotiation is not on the table, you're just going to have to pay whatever's on the window. I don't want to alarm you or alarm anybody, but we're not seeing that in the metro markets anymore. We're seeing the metro markets getting a little bit flexible again. So the reality of the business is coming back into play, and that's at the chagrin of many dealers, both in the metro and the rural markets. So when they suggest to you, I can get a better deal elsewhere, there may be a possibility of that, because we're only working off of MSRP, and you have to really determine whether they're telling you the truth or not. If you've got excess inventory and lots coming at you, whether you want this deal or not, and that will be made at the sales desk. So that's not really your decision. It is our job always to present those offers, and I would always encourage you to do that. But getting back to the affordability factor, we lose sight of how people buy. And it doesn't matter whether it's cars, diamond rings, Rolex watches, houses, big screen TVs. When you walk into Costco and they show us the 90-inch TV right at the very front, and it's probably their most expensive one, then every other television after that is affordable because the price goes down. I would take the same approach with higher interest rates and less negotiating power. The customer has less negotiating power on price by stating, what is your monthly payment now that you have on your vehicle that you're trading in, and how did you get your payments so low? Now, they may have had equity, they may have put money down. We got to get to the bottom of that. If they had a car paid off, a vehicle paid off, pardon me, and they put all that money down, they have an unreasonably low monthly payment. That's going to make your job challenging, because unless they put down that kind of money again, then the payment, albeit won't be close because the interest rate has driven it up, but it will be that much higher. So now we have to consider model down, trim level down or model down. And what you're going to find is that most people driving a higher trim level, and I'm talking about a Denali, a High Country, or at the very least an AT4, are probably going to want to stay in that trim level. and they'll figure out how to make the payment work. The other part of the equation is that as much as they want to keep their monthly payment the same, their business may have gone up just as exponentially as yours has, and us in the automobile business in general. So their prices for their consumers may have gone up. Their products may be producing more profit and income. And what we need to be keenly astute and aware of as salespeople is stay on that cutting edge of such that everything's gone up. Like, how can you possibly expect a 10-year-old price on a Denali pickup truck to be the same today? That truck was only 90 grand list back then. Now it's 110, 120. Interest rate on that was 1.9. Interest rate today on that, maybe 4, 5, 6, depending on credit, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything is relative, and your business is probably doing much better than it was 10 years ago. Everything is relative. And we have that candid conversation because they're looking for you to sell it to them. They're looking for someone they can believe and trust. However, if payment is still the driver, then we go to money down, longer term, lease versus finance, trim level down, model down, and pre-owned. You always have a plan B, and you just have to orchestrate that and have that in the back of your mind thinking, ready to go to it. Are the deals going to come down? Probably not. Not until we have a significant volume of excessive inventory on the ground. I saw something on YouTube last night. I don't know whether it is true or not. I'd find it hard to believe that it's true, but there was a drone video of 40,000 Super Duty trucks on a lot in just parked and not doing anything with them. And I don't believe that that is current. I believe that it could have been shot yesterday. That's no problem at all. But that was probably the case 18 months ago when we went into shutdown and we're having so much trouble with the supply chain. That was the case a long time ago. But until the manufacturer has that kind of pressure on them to churn the product, to keep the plants going, keep everybody working, we're probably not going to see the cash on the hood of the car as they talk about. Honda is quite happy with their dealers not having any product because the company itself is much more profitable by not having those incentives and back end money. So fortunately, our domestics are carrying on with the same business model, and it's great. And they're managing the inventory supply to us, which is fantastic. But for the consumer that looks for those red hot deals, they may have to wait. And it always feels like that's all your customers that are coming in, and it probably isn't. It's probably a portion. So you want to balance your time with those that you can't convince and free them up for the ones that are coming in and go, yeah, I get it. You know, my business is doing well too, and I've got one price. And I don't know, did that answer your question, Jen? That was a long-winded version. I really hope I nailed it for you there. I don't see any other questions coming in. So with that, thank you. I'm going to wrap it up then. Have a great day, everybody, and a fantastic week. Hopefully the month turned out absolutely wonderful for you. And I'll see you again next Thursday at 10 o'clock. Bye-bye for now.